Hey ladies, welcome back to another video, another episode. So today we are going to be talking about eating fair for breakfast, becoming a fearless queen, stepping into your fearless woman era. So for the next few weeks, especially with the new year entering, I think it's really important because as like with the new year coming in, we are all like mentally preparing for a shift, preparing for our next level, preparing for our content leap, our new week going, excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with my voice, but preparing for our new beginning of ourselves and the things that we want to do. So I really want like the content for the next few weeks to be about shedding and releasing, reactivation, and really pouring into you guys that is going to move something in you, move something in you where you feel activated to take that step, to feel activated to move with courage in this new season of your life. Because if there's one thing that I know is that fear is one of those things. It doesn't matter like how much ambition you have, it doesn't matter how much desire or all the dreams that you have in your inside of you, if you cannot conquer fear or move in spite of fear and just eat that ish for breakfast, like it will always paralyze you. It will always paralyze you. And fear is one of those things that it doesn't matter how much you level up, it will always be present. It will always be present. And so in today's video, I'm really going to be, let's see, yes. And so in today's video, I'm really going to be just speaking to you on how to get to move through this fear so that you can take a step into your next level. And I'm also even in the process of conquering another level of fear. And so I have my notes, but a lot of the information that I'm going to give today, a lot of the information that I'm going to give today is really going to be based on just embodiment, my experience from over the past few years of eating fair for breakfast, left and right, over and over again. And it can look different in so many different ways. So if you desire big things, but you let things like maybe imposter syndrome get in your way, if you feel like you want to show up online, take up space, share your voice, be a person of impact, and you're scared to do so, this video is also for you. If you have fear for things like maybe asking for what you want in life, whether it is asking for more money, asking from someone like a relationship, a partner, because you fear of rejection, this is the video that you want to watch. And so again, like fear is in everything. However, fear is the price that you have to pay in order to enter into your next level. And one thing I know is that when you are able to move through fear in any of this, then you are going to unlock a new level of confidence in yourself that you've never even thought was possible. Because you have to identity shift, you have to level up your mindset, you have to conquer certain beliefs. It's going to unlock a new level of you. And so if you are ready to unlock that another level of yourself, another level of confidence, because I truly believe that we all have innate confidence. It's just something that we like moved out of simply because life lives. But if you want to continue unlocking another level of confidence, then you want to learn to eat fair for breakfast. Because if not, you will always limit yourself of knowing what you are capable of being, doing, and having, right? Of achieving, of receiving. And so we don't want that. We don't want fear to eat us for breakfast. We want to eat fair for breakfast. All right. And so here is what I consider like my recipe for eating fair for breakfast. every time that I've had to do something scary. It doesn't matter if it was like in my business or in a relationship. And I will probably share like a story with you, but I had to do all of these certain things. So, first thing that I've always had to do was just, and this is why I say we have innate confidence. It's simply like, how can I, what's the word? It simply muster up some level of self trust. And so that self trust is really that confidence, is that innate confidence. Babies have innate confidence. They have a level of self trust, like they don't even think about it, right? And so when they're getting up, when they're starting to crawl, when they're starting to walk, they're not really thinking about it. They just know that they have this desire and they're just going to keep going until they can get it, right? They don't know that it is even possible, they just do. And that is where like beginner's level of self trust lies. And so if you have a fear right now, so when I think about, for example, when I first started my first business, so this is my third business. my third business is my coaching business. My first business was reselling, and I think, and of course, I shared this many times before. But before that, I was in network marketing, and it was 100% commission. And because I had worked 100% commission, because I learned how to just walk up to people and sell to them, because I learned how to get out of my comfort zone over and build a team and do different things like that. When it was time to, when I decided that I want to be home, I want to make sure that I can pick up my daughter from school. I don't want to have to depend on anyone to do so. I was thinking, because I knew that having a business would be technically 100% commission. I had to be dependent on myself to bring in that income. And so all I had to do was develop a certain level of self trust. I said literally to myself, okay, if I'm able to work 100% commission for like almost a year, then I should be able to do this. That's it. And that simple amount of self trust is about, can you trust yourself enough to just figure things out? Can you trust yourself if you have a dream? If you have a dream that you want to achieve, whether it's starting a new business, whether it is achieving a dream goal, starting a passion project, you want to become a model, you want to become an actress, or whatever it is that you desire to do, or even maybe going into a new career, whatever it is, moving across the world to another state and starting over. If you have these desires, can you muster up that little bit of courage to say, you know what? I trust myself. It's all about me. It's not about the external forces that's going to happen, because external things happen, right? There's going to be people who have negative things to say. There's going to be people telling you're crazy. I've had it all. It's going to be telling people saying that you sure you can do this, a partner, your parent. It's going to be all of that. There's going to be money issues where you may be looking at your bank account and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can even start this business, or oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can do this, whatever it is. But all of that is just external. At the end of the day, all of these things are always going to happen. Life is going to always life. There's going to be so many external forces, judgment, opinions, just your environment, everything that is building up that fear in you. But can you trust yourself? And self-trust is really all about identifying your strength, identifying that your innate power. What are you capable of? If you were able to trust yourself to learn how to drive, if you were able to trust yourself to learn certain things, like, it's no different. It takes the same amount of skill set. It takes the same amount of self-belief. It just, you have to activate a certain level of personal power and truly giving yourself permission within that, okay, to really trust yourself. So a lot of the things that I had to think about when it comes down to self trust and especially moving through fear is, if I failed in this, can I get back up? The answer was always yes. Always yes. Another thing was, if if I ran out of money, okay, then go get a job. Okay. Another thing is, okay, if people judge me, okay, like, you have to build up so much personal conviction within yourself that I trust myself to figure things out, even if you don't have all the steps. And this is the thing that scares mostly everyone. We don't have it all figured out. Even if you don't know all the steps. I did not know all the steps when it came time to start my reselling business. I did not know all the steps. I don't even know all the steps in this business, and I'm still figuring it out. My second business failed. This business, I'm still working on it. Like, it's always figuring things out. But like, I trust myself. I trust myself to get back up even if I fail. I trust myself to figure things out, to learn something different. And also, I've talked about this mindset before about what it really takes to achieve anything in life is really that belief of I have everything within me. So, how I'm also able to develop the amount of self trust that I have is because I learned to not look at outside things. Of course, we look at those things sometimes, but I've really learned, and hopefully, you can truly internalize this. I spoke about this in, I think it was a video called like how to become the woman who achieves anything she wants. But it is realizing that you literally have everything within you. Everything within you, like on and just your one being. That is it. And you have a brain that can download so much information. You have a mindset that can imagine, that can create, that can think of all the amazing things that you can do differently. Your mind is at work, your brain can download information. You have hands that can get online and maybe write a blog or create a book. All of these things in common, and you may think, oh, what are hands? We use this every day, but it is such a gift, right? So thinking about that over your fear, you have a voice that can activate, that can create movement. All of this, when you realize there is nothing outside of you, then you can eat fear for breakfast. Literally, there's nothing outside of you. And so another thing that really helps with eating fear for breakfast is you have to give this to yourself. If you don't give it to yourself, you will always be scared. And this is going to help take you to the next level, is exposure. Exposure therapy. And when I think about certain things, I know I spoke about like business, but I think about things of like when I used to be very shy, a very shy girl. And then I did daughter, and then I started doing network marketing where like I had to knock on doors. I had to knock on doors. Going from shy to walking up to someone's door and knocking on a door, that broke my shyness, broke it. Exposure therapy. When I think about how much fear I had of being seen, of using my voice, of showing up online, I've always wanted to show up online. I've always wanted to help women in self-image and confidence. I've always wanted to be a creator. And I had so much fear, though, of being seen. I used to be the person who would run from the camera when someone will put a camera out and be like, okay, it's time for pictures. I will be like gone. And a lot of it was due to I had self-hate growing up. I had a gap that I hated. It's just so much insecurities that I had to work through in order for me to show up online. And one of those was exposure therapy. I just had to do it. I had to expose myself to the possibility of people not watching my podcast, not watching my content on Instagram. I had to expose myself of being laughed at by maybe my family or people saying judgmental things. A lot of times we think about the people we went to high school with, right? I literally thought about all of these things. I had to expose myself to it, to having something to say. And then I went the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. And now, look, I'm able to speak with you guys with confidence and I'm not afraid of the camera because I had to expose myself to people maybe failing, being embarrassed, my content flopping. I have lots of content that flop, and I still get up because it's still scary at the end of the day. It is still scary at the end of the day to come up here and say something with the vision of I want to create impact, but it's still scary because it can still flop. I can still make an ass of myself, right? Or it can be seen by, yes, by people I went to school with or by family or whatever who may see me a different way, right? These things happen, but exposure is what's going to get you. Another thing, I know I'm speaking a lot about going after your dreams, going after your goals, but even in like relationships, if you're entering that next level of exiting out of a romantic relationship or because you want more, but you fear, I've had this fear, but you fear that maybe you won't meet someone else who is better for you. I'm not saying better than that person, but better for you. Exposure therapy. What I learned is that you will never know. You will never know. I stayed in a relationship for I believe 8 years. 8 years before I decided to leave. And I stayed in that relationship because I was so scared. Even though, yeah, like I tried to work through it, but there was something else inside of me. It was like saying, okay, like you want something different. This is not it. It doesn't feel good. But I was so scared. I was so scared of no one maybe loving me like that or not loving my daughter, being scared because I'm a single mom and he's the only person that, really has been with me since I've been like a single mom. So scared of like different things like this or scared of what my family is going to think. All of this until one night, I literally was like, I am done. I can't even do this anymore. And I allowed, and the fear was just like, the fear was all of those things, but me saying I'm done, in order to get to that level was constant, like in my mind, activating my power of, no, you're good. This is not all you can get. Is telling myself, is building myself up in time. Before I got to that decision of I can leave, it's okay. It's creating safety within yourself. Is rebuilding yourself up from maybe things that someone told you. Like I had like even my mom like telling me, and maybe you can relate to this, but telling me, like instilling a fear in me, and you had a good one, you have a good one, you never know who the next person is going to be. He can be crazy. Or pretty much instilling that fear of get what you can get. Even if you know deep down in your body that it is not right. What may look good to her, they don't know what is good for you. Right? And so instilling that fear, that scarcity, that there's not a lot of people out there who's going to treat you well, who's going to help you out, who's going to support you. And so I had to combat all of that myself internally. And so what you have to do is literally talk to yourself over and over again and say, I am unavailable for that. No, I can meet good people. No, this is not all there is for me. I can have someone who's for me. I can have someone who loves me the way that I want to be loved. This is not just it. I'm okay. It's okay to be single. This does not mean that something's wrong with me. Like, you literally have to talk to yourself over and over again. But even with talking to yourself over and over again, because we all can talk, we can all say affirmations. But if you don't take action, you will not move past that fear. Like, you have to take action, and that is exposing yourself to the unknown, exposing yourself to you. You may meet an asshole right afterwards. That may happen. That may happen. You may be single for a while. That may happen. But that's the unknown, but you never know, because guess what? In that next relationship, which was very unexpected, I met someone who was better in a sense for me at that time. And I realized, because I exposed myself to it, that wow, okay, like, a relationship doesn't have to be struggle love. It can actually be easy. Like, we actually don't have to fight. It doesn't have to be toxic. Like, it can be safe. I can speak without feeling anxious. Like, this is possible, but I would have never known that until I exposed myself to the unknown. So exposure is really just action, right? And so a lot of times people fear like walking away from a situation or leaning back. And I even had to do that recently. And I'm creating a course about rebooting your self-image and your confidence after heartbreak, after failure, because it can be scary to let go. It can be scary to lean back because, again, the fear of going back to maybe back to the unknown, right? But what I've learned is that you have to expose yourself to being rejected. You have to. I expose myself to being rejected all the time. Here, showing up online. Expose yourself to being embarrassed. Expose yourself to the cringe. Expose yourself to judgment. Expose yourself to failure. Expose yourself to abandonment. Get abandoned. Get laughed at, right? Get embarrassed. Get embarrassed so many times. But one thing you're going to learn after these things happen is that, guess what? You made it. You survived. Failure, embarrassment, abandonment, all of this is not the end. It's not the end. And it's the fear that is keeping you stuck from actually creating movement, actually taking you to the next level. Literally. As I speak to you, like, I am in a season where I'm like eating fair for breakfast. I'm creating things in the unknown. Eating fair for breakfast. Expose yourself. Expose yourself. Because that is what's going to reveal what you are capable of. It's going to reveal that, oh, it's not so bad. I can move through embarrassment. It's going to level up your self-image. When you realize you can take embarrassment, you're going to be like, oh, okay, what's next? When you realize that you can lose things like money, those things suck, but you can realize that you're going to get back up. Like, when you realize that maybe closing one door is opening another door, and you won't realize until you expose yourself to that, then you're going to be like, whoa, like, why didn't I do this before? Why I didn't do this before? Fear is the thing that stops us over and over again. It is keeping you stuck. It's keeping you small. It's keeping your power dimmed. And so entering 2026, you're wanting to step into this new level of yourself. And that is going to require you to be able to move even while fear exists. even while fear exists, because it's never going to go anywhere. It is never going to go anywhere. But can you move through it? Can you move through it? And that, like I said, is that self trust, that rebuilding of yourself, that speaking life into yourself, all the things that you need to do to be able to move through that. And that is really, again, activating that power. It is movement, it's embodiment. Okay. But let me see if there's something else that I want to say here. Yeah. Okay. And so the next thing that is really going to help you eat that fear for breakfast as you step into your next level is keeping your eyes closed to what you think is going to happen. Keeping your eyes closed to what you think, like you're probably expecting to fail. Like you're probably thinking of all the things that can go wrong, which is why that fear is so strong. But something that I'm going to encourage you to do, and this is a constant practice, like this is something that you're going to have to do every single day. Every single day is learn how to move with expectation, not certainty. Like certainty is a higher level, higher level state of confidence is having certainty. But a lot of times we're uncertain, because if we were so certain that us, if we left a relationship that the next person we were going to be with is like our husband, if we were so certain about that, we wouldn't have fear to walk away. If we were so certain that if we decided to bet on ourselves and actually start the business that we really want, and it in 6 months, in a year, it worked in our favor, we're making so much money from it. If we were 1000% certain that was going to happen, then, then we wouldn't have fear. If we were so certain that us showing up online how we want to was going to be so welcomed and with no judgment, with it was going to change your life. If you were so certain about that, then you wouldn't have fear because of that unknown. So what is going to require to go through that uncertainty is learning how to move with expectation, learning how to move with believing in the unseen, but expecting things to work in your favor. Believing in the unseen is faith. Having faith in the unknown, you don't know what's going to happen, you're not certain, but you can expect things to work in your favor regardless. Why? Is because you're developing a sense of just wanting to believe that things work out for you. And that is sometimes hard for a lot of women. When you don't feel like you're good enough, when you don't feel like you're a lucky person, when you don't feel like you're favored, you're looking at everybody who's doing big things, who, leveled up, who is, where you want to be, right? You think that they're on some another level, they're so blessed, they have all the favor in the world, they have all the luck in the world. But no, we came from the same God. And so anything that can work in their favor can also work in our favor. Maybe at different times, maybe in different ways, but it's really believing that I am good and good things happen for me. Good things work in my favor. Good things are supposed to be for me. So even if there is fear involved because of the unknown, can you muster up some kind of expectation based on some kind of expectation that you're going to be taken care of? It's going to work out for you some way, somehow, maybe not on your timeline, but it's going to work out for you. Can you move with the expectation that you're going to be okay, that you're going to survive, you're going to grow, you're going to level up? Can you move with that expectation? Because if you can literally every single day expect things to work and the way that you see it, because your desires, your vision, that is a gift. That is a gift. And we question that gift due to fear. Like, we can have all these ideas of, we want to do this, and I see it happening this way, and I see it happening this way, but we stop ourselves. But if you just expected it to work out, what would you do? How would you show up? Like, how would you show up? Would you add a little bit more pressure? Because when you're not moving with expectation, you're going to procrastinate. You're going to think you have all the time in the world, and oh, we're going to that tomorrow. But if you, without even the uncertainty, if you expected it to work, then if you just had so much faith that it can work for you, whatever it is that you are desiring, right, in your next level, whether it's in your dreams, in your relationships, whatever it is that you are desiring, if you expected like it to just work in your favor because of who you are. So again, this also takes you leveling up. Excuse me. This also takes you heightening your self-image, seeing yourself as someone who is deserving, who is worthy, who is good enough to receive, to have, right? If you can muster up that expectation, you will do things differently every single day, every single day. And so these are the things that is really going to help you step into your next level of entering into a fearless queen, right? This is your era of taking your power back, right? Taking your power back, stepping into your next level power, activating things into yourself, right? Developing a higher level of confidence, a higher level of self-trust, not being not afraid, but exposing yourself to your fear. Because I don't know if you probably heard of it, of like, when you expose yourself to the fear, you no longer fear it. You literally no longer fear it. And I can't remember like what it's called. Maybe it's just called exposure therapy, right? When you expose yourself to the fear, is no longer a fear. And so all of these things really creates a practice of embodiment, because embodiment is really you internalizing this, who you want to be. And when you can develop self-trust, when you can think of yourself more highly, and when you can talk yourself into something, and then you back it with action, in movement and exposure, this creates experiences within you. This creates embodiment. This creates implementation, because you're implementing something that is going to take you to the next level. So once you start eating that ish for breakfast, eating fear for breakfast, you're not going to realize who you can be. You're not going to realize the person you used to be. You're going to be like, who is that girl? Remember, like, you're never going to know who you can be, what you can do, and what you can have if you allow fear to eat you for breakfast versus you eat fear for breakfast. Fear is it is real, but it's also an illusion. It's things that we create. Of course, fear is real, right? We need fear for certain things, right? If we're in danger, obviously, like, we need those things. But a lot of the I'm afraid to be seen, I'm afraid of embarrassment, that is literally made up fear. That's fear, but it's fear based off illusion. It's not fear based off, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the word. Not a fact, but it's not fear based off like something that is happening in the moment. When something is happening in the moment, yeah, hello, you're about to get attacked. That's real fear. That is present danger. I think that's where I was trying to get to. Real fear is when you are in encounter with real and present danger. Illusion fear is worrying about what someone is going to say about me. Is, oh my gosh, I don't know, like, Is my community, is my audience gonna like what I say? What is my mom gonna think? That's not real fear. That's illusion fear, because you're creating an illusion of something that you don't even know that's gonna happen. And this is something that we have to work through every single day, because every single day we are presented with something that, can scare us. Every single day. Every single day, somebody is leaving your relationship scared as hell because of all the made up things that we created in our head. Every single day, someone is scared to start a business because of the illusion of failing, right? So every single day is us moving through fear. But are you moving through fear? That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Are you going to allow yourself to move through fear in this next season of your life? Can you move with that expectation? Can you build self-trust? Can you expose yourself to the unknown and allow yourself to just be? That's when you become a fearless queen. And even when I think fearless is like fear, just being fearless. Like we don't have any fear, right? No, you're not 100% fearless. Like we all have certain fears. You're a fear conqueror, right? Like you eat it. Even in spite of fear, like you're like, okay, like this is scary. I know, like I'm shaking. I don't know what's going to happen, but like I have to do it. I have to do it because it's only going to reaffirm who you can be, what you can do, what you can have. It's going to repair you. It's going to repair your confidence. Fear right now is breaking down your confidence because you're acting in ways that is literally limiting who you can be. It is shutting you down. It is dysregulating your nervous system. It is making you small. It is still making you not feel worthy and good enough. It is keeping you at the bottom. It is not allowing you to level up. It is not allowing your self-esteem to grow into the next level. It is not allowing you to be so confident. And so that is my recipe for really conquering fear, moving through it. It's going to be present. It's going to be present, but remember, it's an illusion half the time. If it's not real and present danger, it's really an illusion of made up things that we don't even know that is going to happen. So if you want to feel more confident in yourself, then it's time to leave fear. Like in 2025, if you're entering 2026 and you're like, okay, I want to feel more confident in myself. Like I'm ready to give myself permission to take it to the next level. I'm ready to have the life that I know I can have, to embrace my desires. I'm ready for this. Then if that's what you want, then you have to learn how to leave fear in the dust. Like it is truly doing you a disservice. And it's time to get in the game and stay in the game. Stay in the game of the life that you want. Okay. That is it, ladies. I actually have to go. I wanted to just come on here and speak really quickly about eating fear for breakfast, because this is the season of releasing, shedding, reinventing, restarting, reactivating our who we can be. Also, as you know, I'm creating new courses that is really going to help with your confidence, help level up your self-image. They're not done yet, but I am launching them within the new year. So if you want to be a part of that, if you're ready to really have a transformation and enter into that new level, that next level of being in your power and your confidence, and allowing that to translate into your relationships and your money and your business and just your life in general, then go ahead and to the description box and sign up for the email list. So that is it for today, ladies, and I will see you next time. Bye.